Hi guys, Steve Davis here, Stillwater Woodcraft. We're back down here at the Stillwater River today. We're going to do a little handline fishing. I thought we'd continue on with our fishing series and show you a little bit about my handline, how I have it rigged up, and how I use it. Talk a little bit about the advantages and disadvantages of the handline versus using a pole or something. So let's get down here to the river and do some fishing. Alright, let's take a look at my fishing kit and my handline setup here. Now, I covered my fishing kit in the course fishing video, but since everybody doesn't watch all the videos, we'll cover it again here just real quick. Okay, basically I just keep my kit in this little tin with a piece of wool in the top to cut down on the rattle and stick some hooks in. Then in there I got some split shot for sinkers, a horsehair line, some beeswax for waxing our line and being able to wax the hook shank before we tie it on, a small cork for a float. Here's some sinew processed to make leaders out of also, and just some assorted hooks down in the bottom of there and stuff. It's nothing real fancy. You can find whatever you want to keep your kit in. This is my hand line that I generally carry. Okay, it is tarred line, also called cod line, and I use a leader on here. Right now we're using a sinew leader. Some linen or something like that would be perfectly appropriate also. Now this line is just wrapped around a small piece of wood that's kind of cut in the shape of a butterfly or something. It's just got some notches in here to wind this line around. No matter what line you choose, whether it be some tarred line or something like some waxed linen, or maybe you're lucky enough to have some the good cutty hunk line, you need some way to store it. Whether you wind it on something like this or just wrap it around a stick or something. Here's another option. This is just two pieces of wood here connected with a couple short dowels. They're just drilled through, okay, and it makes something you can wind your line around. You can see here one of my bank line setups is wound around a piece like, well, it's exactly the same thing here. So you can see how it works. Now, one of the advantages of something like this versus just a piece of wood or a stick is this space in here allows some air to get in there so it can dry out a little bit faster. Now, a linen line, if put away and stored wet where it can't dry out, will oftentimes get some mildew or mold on it. So you want to give it a chance to dry if you're going to store it for a while. But I've been using just this piece of wood for quite a while now, and I'll keep using it until some reason why I shouldn't, I guess. I don't know. I get a piece of kit that I like, I get kind of stuck in my ways. So just the way I have this rigged up here is I have this heavier cod line wrapped around here. This is, I think it's a 50-something pound test. It's like a number 6 tarred line. Then it comes down here to a sinew leader with a split shot sinker and a small spade end hook. Okay, now how I rig that leader on there, get a piece of this unwound here, find the end of it. Use a piece of this sinew. Of course, we're doing this on video, so everything's going to turn into a tangled mess. But why we want to use a leader, or why I want to use a leader anyhow, is this main line is a 50-pound test line, okay? And then we got a lighter leader down here. Okay, first reason is this 50-pound test line is pretty spooky to some smaller fish. So I like a lighter, smaller line down here towards the business end. Also, if I get this snagged up on something, I want to be able to pull on this main line and this lighter line bust, and all I lose is just the leader instead of a big chunk of my main line. So that main line, get a piece of this bank line off. All I do is just take and throw an overhand in it and make a loop. Then that'll be the end of my main line. Then whatever I'm using for a leader, okay, in this case this piece of sinew, I'll do the same thing. I'll just take and throw an overhand in it also. So I just got a loop in the end of it. So I got 2 loops. Now all I got to do to connect these is take the loop on my leader here, put the loop on my main line through it, and then go up through that loop on my main line with my leader, and they'll come together and hold together. Now when I want to change this leader, it's real easy just to pull this apart and take it apart and change it out. So there's a little look at how I hook my leader on there. There is some different knots you can use, but just an overhand loop seems to work really well. Now down the line, you know, just a piece of split shot and a spade end hook. Now these spade end hooks, you know, there's a certain way to tie them on. Okay, we'll do one real quick here so everybody can see it. I also covered this in pretty good detail in my course fishing video, but we got just the spade end hook, no eye. So we're just going to take and put a loop in our leader. So we got a loop, lay that against the shank of our spade end hook. Then we're just going to start going around the shank and through that loop. All 4 or 5 times would be good. Working our way down the shank. I'm all thumbs here today. So you get that wrapped down and you just pull this tight. That'll cinch up and slide up against that spade end, so it won't slide up over that spade. It's really easy to do. They're pretty secure. You just want to make sure that's cinched down real tight. Then whatever you're going to use for a weight, you know, just put it on there. In this case, split shot. What you can also do is this is a piece of lead. It's just been hammered out with the back of an axe on a rock, flat. You can take a piece of this, and you're obviously not going to use a piece that big, but you can just take a piece of this and wrap it around your line. It's really flexible and soft. Also an easy way to make a sinker. So the nice thing about a hand line versus carrying a pole or something is this fits in your pocket. It's easily available, you know, you can just pull it out and fish. The disadvantage we'll see is like when we're trying to fish around some structure, it's kind of hard to throw over top of structure and not get hung up. But you know, that's the give and take of it. So that's basically my handline kit. Nothing's fancy to it, nothing special. You know, to me, the more basic, usually the better. So let's get around here, get this hook baited up, and let's toss a line and see if we can get us a fish. Okay guys, here's the Stillwater River. Now the water's up just a little bit, You can tell why they call it the Stillwater. It's not exactly in a big hurry to go anywhere. So where we're going to fish here, as you can see, the river is coming down here, and there's a small narrow spot here with some structure and some rocks, and it speeds up a little bit. Then it comes down here into a pool. So the fish will lay below these spots like this and wait for things to come washing down the river for food. So we're going to fish right here below this riffle. Okay, we got set up here. I hope my camera angle is good. Filming out here by yourself is oftentimes kind of a juggle between getting in the spot you want to be and a spot that you can film in. So we'll give her a shot here. I got my hand line. Now I've added a cork to this line. This cork's just got a slit halfway through it. You can push that line into the slit and that cork will grab the line, won't slide around. I want to bait it up here. I got my bait horn right here hanging on my strap. You can go around the bank and find some bait, throw it in this horn. That way, you know, every time you need bait, you're not looking for it. We got some wood grubs here. Let's bait this hook up. There is a little trick to casting, if you can call it casting, a hand line. Okay, we want to pull off enough line here, as much as we think we're going to need. Try to keep it untangled. I like to just hold that in my one hand. Once you get this unwound and are fishing with it, you know, you generally just leave it unwound. I get some line off there. And I'll hold this spool in my right hand. And I'll just kind of loop this line up and around in my hand and hold it. Then with this line in this hand, I'll just take and give it a toss and let that line flow out of my hand. Then when we make our first cast, if we want to cast a little bit farther, we can just pull some more line out. Pull some more line out like that. Then when we retrieve, we just loop it back into our hand. Then when we want to make another cast, we just do the same thing all over again. And now we're a good 10 foot out there. It's a pretty easy way to cast. Got a little nibble on the line already. I missed him. That is one of the disadvantages of a hand line versus a pole, is you don't have that quick snap to set the hook. Just a little practice though, and that can be overcame. There we go. So, just a small creek chub, but now that we got this creek chub, we're going to set some bank lines or some trapping or whatever, you know, we could use that for bait, or, you know, I'll eat that fish, no problem. You know, when we're out here living off the land, or, you know, trying to catch all our own food, can't be too picky. So, this has been Steve Davis with Stillwater Woodcraft. Hope you guys get out, try some hand lining, catch some creek chubs. We'll turn that one loose. So I appreciate all your guys' views, all your support, all your comments. We'll see you on the next one.